Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, protesters stationed at the bottom of Trump Tower, the cause they are supporting.
And are you planning on celebrating St. Patrick's Day? The changes a major city is making to their celebration.
Plus, are you planning on staying on campus over spring break? What the deadline is to apply for housing.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Allie Perry.
And I'm Casey DeSalle.
The New York State Downtown Revitalization Initiative and the New York Forward program will give 3 upstate New York municipalities funding, including the village of Pulaski. Pulaski is set to receive $10 million through the DRI, which has sparked discussion among residents and local officials on how best to allocate the funds.
Pulaski's mayor, Jan Teague, said she wants to improve the infrastructure and make it a wonderful place to grow and thrive. Community members are encouraged to participate actively in shaping the town's future. Along with Pulaski, both the village of Chittenango and Marathon are set to receive $4.5 million as well.
SUNY Oswego faculty and students have earned honors in 7 categories within the National Broadcast Education Association. Students such as Reyna Hortez, Thomas Caffarella, and Maura McCluskey have been awarded in categories such as audio competition, news competition, and script writing competition. The students spoke very highly of SUNY Oswego's faculty, crediting them to their success and thanking them for all the help and encouragement they've received. The awards will be presented in person this April at the organization's national conference located in Las Vegas.
Today is the last day to submit your request to stay on campus over break. Campus residents that wish to stay on campus over break must log into their myhousing.portal account to complete their spring break housing application. Housing over break is not guaranteed and requests are not automatically approved. If you do not end up staying for break, you must vacate your residence hall by 10 a.m. on March 15th.
If you're in the mood to see a play, you can catch a showing of Cinderella this weekend. Quirks Players, the student theater troupe at Fulton G. Ray Bodley's High School, will present Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella at the high school auditorium. The production includes more than 70 students and will have 4 shows, one tonight and tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. and 2 on Saturday at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m.
Phishing scams have been making their way onto college campuses.
Our reporter, Eliza Hopkins, is here in studio to give us some information on these 2 scams and give advice on how to protect yourself from falling victim. Eliza?
Thanks, guys. Since the start of the new semester, there have been several reports about scams and phishing going around campus. I myself almost fell victim to a scam. Phishing is usually considered a scam by email. This is a way in which scammers attempt to gain access to your personal information. Earlier this week, a campus-wide announcement was emailed out to the entire campus, warning students about a scam through text. Individuals are posing as the Campus Technology Services Help Desk, stating that the student's campus account has been deactivated, asking for personal information and email verification. The school advises students not to interact with these messages. However, if you have, immediately change your passwords by going to www.oswego.edu/account-tools. But fear not, there are ways in which you can avoid such scams. These tactics include always checking the address from the sender, not just the name, hover over the links to see where they will take you before clicking them, staying suspicious of requests for sensitive information, and finally, verifying a suspicious email's validity through a secure method like a phone call. That's all for my report. Now back to the desk.
Thanks.
Spring is almost here and the weather is already getting warmer.
I sure hope that trend continues. Let's take a look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist David Pearson.
Good evening, Lakers. My name is David Pearson, here with a quick preview of your Laker weather. We got some very good headlines for you tonight. You see, partly cloudy and chilly going into the night tonight, making room for our next big newsmaker, the total lunar eclipse that will be happening tonight around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. More on that in the full forecast. We also have a milder outlook with a sunny Friday right before spring break. And then the part most of you, I assume, are more concerned about, the conditions for spring break and the week following that. More of that on the rest of your full forecast. Sending it back to the desk with the rest of the day's announcements.
Thanks, David. Syracuse police are increasing security measures for the St. Patrick's Day parade on Saturday in response to acts of violence across the nation. Police Chief Joseph Cecil said there will be an enhanced uniform presence this year, including SWAT members. More than 100 groups are registered to march in the parade that is scheduled to begin at noon Saturday at Clinton Square in downtown Syracuse.
A newspaper that has been operating for 158 years has declared Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The Cortland Standard released their last issue today and will be eliminating 17 jobs. Employees were informed around noon on Wednesday that today would be their last day of work. The Standard was founded in 1867 and it was New York's second oldest family-owned news organization.
About 150 Jewish activist members flooded into the lower level of Trump Tower today in protest of Mahmoud Khalil's arrest. The protesters began chanting, "Fight Nazis, not students," and even held up banners reading things such as "Free Mahmoud, Free Palestine." About an hour after the protest started, more than 24 officers began detaining demonstrators by zip-tying their hands behind their backs and carrying them up the escalators. 98 protesters were later arrested, according to John Chell, the police department's chief of department.
Still ahead tonight, discover Governor Kathy Hochul's plans for meeting with President Donald Trump.
Plus, find out why a certain Texas college gets an early spring break.
Dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow.
Wow.
Get a close up of that one.
Broadcast
Look
news.
at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
Good evening, Lakers. My name is David Pearson, here with your full Laker weather. Take a look at the current conditions in Oswego. We're looking at temperatures around 42 degrees Fahrenheit, winds out of the northeast 4 to 7 miles per hour, and relative humidity of around 68%. Those clear skies and partly cloudy conditions will give way for our big newsmaker of the evening, the first total lunar eclipse in Oswego in over 3 years. The eclipse, the shadow will begin to show around 1 o'clock in the morning. 2:26 will enter its darkest phase. You'll see the full red is on the graphic behind me here. Then around 2:58 it'll peak, And you'll see that start to diminish around 3:31, and then by 4:47, the entire shadow has disappeared, and I will be going to bed. Tomorrow, we got a lot nicer for you, okay? Better than what we've been getting the last couple days. About 60 degrees, partly sunny, and those northeast winds are going to change to go to southeast, about 7 to 10 miles per hour. That's going to bring up some warmer air from the south and heat us up for a nice and mild final day of classes. I'm going to show here on the temperature graphic, that green is going to move in around noon right there, about 60 degrees-ish. You're going to drop into the night. So maybe one last party, one last trip to late night, something. You just might need to bring a light jacket. And then the temperatures will fall and rise again for Saturday. Much similar conditions there. We're going to show a much similar thing over here, just with cloud cover. We're going to take a quick stop just around the time of the eclipse. Around 3 in the morning, you see that little batch of cloud cover up by over the lake. Shouldn't be that much interference with the view. Should be able to get the whole thing. Might I recommend going to Rice Creek? It's going to be beautiful there. Friday, partial cloud cover, temperatures dropping, nothing too crazy. Saturday, couple spotty showers, commute home. If you're in the northeast, we'll be fine. If you're going farther down south, though, there's going to be a bit of a problem, which we'll be showing here on the wider map. You can see over here, there's this low pressure in Colorado. It's going to head over to the east, bring a little cold front to the Alabama-Mississippi area. For those of you that are in the south, you're going to want to be careful. These storms are likely going to cause strong thunderstorms, heavy winds, damaging rain, hail, and a couple stronger, longer track tornadoes. That same system is then going to move up north, bringing cold and rain to the Oswego, New York area by Saturday night into Sunday and Sunday night. And you'll see more of that coming up on the 7-day forecast right over here. You're going to see it's going to be pretty mild Friday, Saturday, Sunday, much of the same, but there's a higher chance of rain coming in. Monday, temperatures are going to drop into the 40s, possibly down to freezing. Not fully sure. It might switch to rain or snow. Could, depending on how low it gets. About 53 Tuesday, 61 Wednesday, very mild. Sun will be shining. Get out to enjoy that. And then Thursday will be your final day of break. And before we know it, you'll be back here. That's all for your Laker weather. Sending it back to the desk with the rest of the night's news.
Thanks, David.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that lunar eclipse.
Oh my God, Casey, me too. But moving on to some state news. A federal lawsuit has been filed against Columbia University to try to block the school from giving students disciplinary records to Congress. The lawsuit has been filed on behalf of 7 current Columbia University students, as well as Palestinian activist Mahmoud Halil, who is also a Columbia graduate. It claims that the committee's request for student records violates the First Amendment and that the university is obligated to protect students' privacy.
Governor Kathy Hochul is scheduled to visit the White House and meet with President Trump Friday morning. The two are set to discuss the construction of the controversial Constitution natural gas pipeline, which would run throughout the Empire State. The principal's company's CEO behind its construction told the president earlier that this week that they would not continue with the project unless the governor of the state approves.
Several students and tribal nations are suing the Trump administration over layoffs in 2 Native American colleges.
Here's reporter Lily O'Shea Becker with one of the students involved.
We feel as if we're just not important.
Indigenous education is important to Ella Bowen. That's why she chose to go to Haskell Indian Nations University.
I'd really love to go back home on the reservation and teach for my people.
Ella is one of 4 Haskell students, in addition to 3 tribal nations, suing the Trump administration.
What's the end game here?
Justice.
The tribal nations allege in the lawsuit they were not consulted before more than 30 employees were laid off, which they say current law requires the federal government to do.
We're ready to fight for what's ours, and we're not scared of going against the government anymore. It's really time to get justice for our people.
Last week, a spokesperson for Kansas Senator Jerry Moran told KSHB 41 the Department of Interior said it intends to hire back 14 of the terminated employees.
We want our staff and faculty back here on campus.
Ella is still without her academic advisor.
That has really left me clueless as to what my next steps in my education were.
And she said the layoffs have impacted her education.
One of my professors, he had to take up extra classes. So I know he's had to make sacrifices here and there, and it cuts into my class.
But Ella's not giving up.
I'm really dedicated to Haskell, and this is why I'm fighting so hard, is because this is where I want to receive my 4-year degree. This is where I want to send my kids to in the future.
The lawsuit aims to rehire lost staff.
So far, the department has not yet commented on further litigation.
The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow his executive order ending birthright citizenship to take effect. This order was issued back on Trump's first day in office in January. but lower courts have imposed nationwide injunctions against it. After a series of emergency appeal, the Trump administration argued that the lower courts have gone too far with injunctions to block the policy.
Manhole explosions at Texas Tech University caused the school to evacuate several campus buildings. The blast sent plumes of fire and smoke across some parts of campus and even caused several power outages across school grounds. Officials said a gas odor was detected in the area and staffers were advised not to return to their offices. Though the school's spring break was scheduled to begin Monday, the incident allowed an earlier dismissal.
When WTOP-10 nightly news continues, a popular beverage has been recalled. What it is and why you may need to return it.
And calling all spring breakers, a popular budget airline is finally back from bankruptcy. What happened to the company? This is WTOP-10 Nightly News.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News.
In consumer news, spring break is finally here. If you are planning on traveling, here is a check on the cheapest places in the city of Oswego to fill up your tank. The top 3 most affordable places to get gas right now are Stewart's Shop, Sunoco, and Burn Dairy, according to Gas Buddy.
Discount carrier Spirit Airlines is out of bankruptcy, according to the Wall Street Journal. The budget airline filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in November after several years of losses. Its planned merger last year with JetBlue was blocked by a federal judge, and a portion of its fleet was grounded due to an engine defect. Spirit told the Journal that the bankruptcy allowed it to reduce debt by nearly $800 million.
It's the first time in 4 months that inflation has slowed, but many economists warn the news could be short-lived.
In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains what these numbers all mean for your wallet.
Inflation fell for the first time in months, according to a federal report released Wednesday. The Consumer Price Index measures price changes for a variety of goods and services.
This month was really the first progress we'd seen toward moving inflation down closer to that 2%.
Greg McBride with Bankrate says the Federal Reserve wants to see inflation closer to 2% before dropping interest rates. And according to this latest report, inflation is at 2.8% for 12 months ending in February. But McBride warns this good news could be short-lived.
With tariffs looming, that adds an upside risk to inflation in the months ahead.
President Donald Trump announced tariffs on imports from 3 of America's largest trade partners, China, Canada, and Mexico. as well as 25% taxes on all steel and aluminum imports. And Wednesday, Canada announcing retaliatory tariffs of 25% on billions of dollars worth of American goods.
It's not just the imported items that are susceptible to price increases. Domestic producers, if they're facing less price competition from foreign competitors, they're likely to boost their prices too.
All of this comes as the cost of living is already high for many Americans. And this latest report shows shelter prices, which measures housing costs, went up 0.3% last month.
The pressure on household budgets has been really unrelenting.
Overall, food prices went up 0.2%. Egg prices shot up 10.4% in February, the biggest jump. Prices also up for beef and meats, poultry, fish, as well as cereal and bakery products. The good news is gas prices dipped 1% last month. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
More than 60,000 bottles of Gerolsteiner sparkling water have been recalled. The recall is due to bottles that could crack and cause lacerations. The bottles were sold at Trader Joe's stores in 12 states from December 2024 through January 2025. You can return the bottles to the store where you purchased them for a refund. No related injuries have been reported.
In sports news, a big weekend for the Oswego men's ice hockey team.
Let's hear all about it with WTOP-10 sports reporter Jaden Archie. Jaden?
Thanks, guys. The Oswego men's ice hockey team is headed to the NCAA tournament after claiming their 11th SUNY championship with a 5-2 victory over Plattsburgh State. With a dominant performance, the Lakers scored 5 goals in the first period, led by Ryan Burke, Brandon Cohen, and Drake Semrad. Goaltender Brandon Milberg stood tall with 28 saves, securing the win in front of a sold-out home crowd. Now the Lakers turn their attention to Trine University in the first round of the NCAA Division III tournament. Oswego enters the matchup with a high-powered offense and a disciplined defense. Freshman Brandon Cohen leads the team with 19 goals. Ryan Burke's playmaking has earned him Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year Travis Baker anchors the back end. The team's relentless speed and chemistry make them an undeniable force on both ends of the ice. The single elimination game takes place Saturday, March 15 at 7 p.m. in Angola, Indiana. The winner advances to the quarterfinals and moves one step closer to a national title. Stick around until after the break for your full sports report with Michelle Smith.
Keys down, Kevin. I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man. Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one.
Matthew,
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
Welcome back. I'm Michelle Smith with more sports. Oswego men's lacrosse beat the Golden Eagles at Brockport yesterday evening, trampling the opponent with double goals scored. Oswego now has 12 wins in 25 games against Brockport since 2001. 6 of Oswego's 10 goals came in the second quarter, a strong response to 2 Brockport goals in the first minute of action in the quarter. Oswego plays again over break on March 18th, still on the road against Utica. Sticking with Oswego lacrosse, the women's team fell 11-10 at home against Nazareth. The teams were neck and neck until the last 27 seconds of play when the Golden Flyers snuck a goal in past the Lakers netminder. Nazareth advances to a 4-2 record on the season and Oswego to a record of 2-3. Oswego plays next on the road in Brockport to advance their 31-year history. Let's take a look at pro sports. After 2 hurricanes caused devastation to Tropicana Field, the MLB's Rays could be at risk of a club move. The damage done to the Rays' home rendered it unplayable and delayed approval of county bonds to set a new ballpark project in motion. Today, the team's owners walked away from $730 million in public funding for a new ballpark, putting the team's future in St. Petersburg at risk. Team owner Stuart Sternberg has a big decision to make. He could strike a new deal, move the team, or sell completely. Damages are estimated at $56 million, and the team will be playing the upcoming season at the Yankees spring training field in Tampa. Coming off of a shocking trade deadline, the NHL seems to be handing out suspensions left and right. Just this afternoon, Calgary Flames forward Connor Zary was given a 2-game suspension for elbowing Vancouver's Elias Pettersson. Making bigger waves is Florida Panther Aaron Ekblad's 20-game suspension for testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs in a random drug test. Ekblad made a statement saying he used the drugs without consulting team medical personnel in recovery for an upper body injury. Due to the number of games in his suspension, Ekblad will not be eligible to return until Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs Round 1. That's all for sports. Thanks, everyone. Stick around after the break for more from the desk.
La la la. Free. La 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 la. La 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 la. Freeze.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and waited.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen. They become briefly
Buffalo Wild Wings for some reason thinks you need a special pair of goggles to properly take in March Madness.
The sports bar and restaurant chain is launching what is called the B-Dubs Vision Goggles.
The goggles have 4 arms and 5 mirrors that bend and rotate into various positions so you can watch all the games on a dozen screens.
Limited edition goggles will be available for $9.99 each on March 17th. And I just think this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean 4 arms and 5 mirrors. Who came up with that?
I love wings, I love March Madness, but I definitely will not be purchasing those.
$10 is an entire appetizer just for 1 pair of glasses. I think that's a little crazy.
But you need the glasses to eat the appetizer.
You need the glasses.
Come on.
You might as well just go get wings. And
I feel like wings aren't that messy. I'm not.
I feel like they're more March Madness than the goggles are. Like,
yeah.
That's what I think about. I think March Madness in basketball.
I got a question though. Are you guys boneless or bone-in?
Ooh, boneless.
Bone in.
Boneless.
Bone in, bro.
I don't want to work for my food. I'm already paying for it. I don't want to work for it.
I just want to dip it and eat it.
I feel like especially at beat-ups, though, it's a little like it tastes more fake if they're boneless. I don't know.
You
They're,
think?
like frozen almost. Yeah.
So we have bone in and boneless.
Yeah, we do.
Guys,
Wow.
WTOP date night to beat-ups to test this theory.
Hey,
What do you think?
I'm getting my goggles if we're going. I'm doing it.
So what's to look forward to in weather?
I'd say just the partial cloud cover and the full lunar eclipse. You're going to want to go out and see that. It's going to be pretty late, but I'd say it's worth it.
For sports?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Jaden touched on, we have that NCAA D3 tournament coming up for our men's Lakers hockey team, which can be viewed for free on the NCAA website, as well as an interactive bracket. There's more information on that from Tuesday's report if anybody wants more information.
Perfect. We'll have to check it out. I think it's a great idea. Same with the eclipse. We should do that too. Well, that's our report for tonight.
Be sure to stay tuned for the late night original production.